Hello everybody, my name is Zoe. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So I was thinking about like past memories, I don't know, nostalgia and stuff, and I realized that like I actually do have kind of a lot of good stories. Some of them are really small, some of them are like a lot bigger, and so I thought like along with like the web lessons and the rest of the videos that I'm doing, I might add a few of these in because they're really easy to do and I think they're fun and I like to reflect and I like to tell stories because I think that they're kind of funny. I hope. So I posted a poll on my Instagram saying, should I tell a story about the time I got caught sneaking out or the time that I broke my neck, kind of, and I expected it to be like a little bit closer than it was. It was 7-49. So I guess I'm telling the story about being caught sneaking out. The thing with this though is that like I can't tell more recent stories. Not that there are more recent stories of me being caught sneaking out. But like if there's a story about something that I'm doing that was like bad or something like that, or just being like an angsty teenager, like I can't tell those yet because like my mom and dad watch my videos and I don't exactly want them to hear that. That'd be basically me confessing. Not a great idea. So when I'm 18, all the stories will come on out. But so I think I'll tell stories from when I was younger, by like elementary school, middle school, and maybe even early high school if it isn't bad. Not all my stories are gonna be things that I did bad, just like when there are those stories, which there are, I need to time it correctly. So if you thought I was sneaking out like as in like I snuck out like a month ago or a week ago or something like that, I can't tell that story, but I know, you guys are like upset, but stick with me, I'll try my best, you know? So it's still a good story because it's like the first time I really got in trouble and it like, I'll forget it happened and then it'll like creep into my memory again and really make me cringe, so that's always good. It's kind of like a laughing moment though. I was too young to like make me cringe anymore. It's just kind of funny. If you do want to know when I post a video about me doing mischievous things, like as a teenager now, you can hit that notification button and you'll know as soon as I post and what the video is. So please click that notification button and you'll be notified as soon as I upload and what I have uploaded. And you can also follow my Instagram at however you would choose to pronounce this because I think I'm pretty cool on there. Okay, so the girl that I snuck around with, we'll just name her Anna. Her name is not really Anna. I didn't ask her if I could tell the story because I haven't really talked to her in a long time and I feel like that'd be a weird thing to like ask. So I didn't. She probably wouldn't care. I'm just being safe. Anna is her name. Cool. Okay. Anna was like the cool kid, you know? She was like one of the only ones to have a boyfriend. I remember that and thinking that was just so cool, and she would like kiss her boyfriend. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like she was a little bit of a rebel for like being in 6th grade. I mean, you know, whatever the 6th grade rebellious kid would do, she was like that kid. And I thought she was really cool and we got along, kind of like opposites attract, because I was definitely not the cool kid. I was popular, but because of ASB, like I was like the treasurer. I remember like doing my speech and stuff and like bribing kids with fruit roll-ups, which, I mean, I won, so it worked. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I was like, what would you call it? A snitch. I was a snitch. I snitched kids out not if it had nothing to do with me, but like I saw 2 kids fighting and like I was like worried for them, so like I told a teacher once and like somebody bullied me. They told me like I was like a stick figure on paper because I was like white. And I told on them because that really offended me for no reason, and so I was just kind of a snitch. But like I think all the kids at that school were like a little bit of snitch because they're all like, you know, we're all like 10. And I guess just like after not really being this rebellious kid and watching my cool friends be rebellious kids and my cool friends had boyfriends and stuff, I was like, I need to be rebellious. So one day we were hanging out outside of my house and I think she just asked, she was like, and my mom knew her really well because like we would drive her home after school and I would hang out with her all the time and my mom loved her because Anna's great. And one day she went up to me and she was like, what if like we went to the park? So we have like a playground for kids and it's maybe half a mile to a mile away. It's really not far. It's probably a mile. And we were gonna go on bikes. I had my tiny little purple bike. She had a bigger bike. I think it was still like a kid's bike, but it was cooler than mine. And I've never really done anything bad before. Like, I was just a good kid. I mean, if I did bad things, it was like bullying my brother. Like, it was just like teasing him or something like that. I never like snuck around or like lied about where I was going. Like, I never lied about where I was going. I also got nervous really easily. Like, remember, like field trips would come up and I would be worried, like, what if Zachary, who's my brother, would forget his lunch and then he'd go hungry and I'd feel really bad and then I'd get anxious about that, making sure he packed his lunch. It's like, it's not my job to make sure Zachary packs his lunch. But I'd always worry about that kind of stuff. And like, if we had, like, it wasn't even presentations that I was worried about. It was just like things that had no significance, like did not matter at all. I just worried too much about other people, like, and myself. Obviously, yeah. So when she gave me the idea, I was like, can we do that? She was like, yeah, like, the library's not that far. She probably thought I was crazy. She was like, yeah, it's like across the street. And I'm like, I know, but like, my mom would never let me. And I knew my mom would never let me because it was like, we were little kids. We were like 11. And if you just see like 11-year-olds like walking around, you'd be like, where's their mom? And I didn't want my mom to come. I want to be that cool kid because my friends didn't have their moms hanging around. And like, it's not my mom's fault. Like, my mom wanted me to be safe. It was perfectly reasonable. 11-year-old me was like, no, I'm going to this library park. So we hatched our master plan. And our plan was, we were going to go to her house. I was going to tell my mom I was going to her house. And then I think we had to fix like her bike chain or like get a bike lock. Yeah, we need a bike lock. And we needed like the key for it or whatever. And her mom knew me pretty well. Like, her brother knew me decently well too. I think I was pretty likable to that family. And so we walked in. I was also 11, so I didn't exactly look menacing. And so we walk in, we're getting the bike chain. I think she even told her mom where she was going. She's like, we're gonna go to the library. And her mom's like, cool, I don't care. Like, it's fine, just go to the library. And I told my mom I was just gonna be at the house. So we don't go and stay at the house. We bike down to the library. But it's an interesting story how we got there. So my heart was beating so fast. Like, me being anxious, me being 11, and me sneaking around all combined into one. And I'd never seen my mom like super mad before. So like, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, would she be super mad? Probably. Like, would she kill me? Probably. I have no idea. And so my heart, like, I could feel it like this. And I got like kind of nauseous and I felt like I had to pee. So all of that anxiety and all those factors bound up into one. I was kind of clumsy too because, you know, I was 11 and I wasn't exactly the most physically fit child in the world. I mean, I was definitely cute, but cuteness will only get you so far, you know? And so I remember biking and going up to like a chain link fence, like just those little hatching fences. And it was like next to a school and we were just riding past it and I was not paying attention and like a boy passed by me and he was like 16 or 17. So he had no, like, he was not interested in me, he was just passing by me. But you know, me being like a little kid, like all my friends had boyfriends. In my head I'm like, that boy is so cute, like what if he thinks I'm cute? Me on my cool pink bike, I think it was like purple, me on my cool purple teal bike, like, and I was not paying attention. And I remember the handle like got caught into the fence and he had to help me get my bike out. So that was a fun little pit stop. And Anna was like no help with my embarrassment. She was just like, you need to pay attention to where you're going. I'm like, I know that. I'm trying my best. So eventually we stopped at Starbucks because there's a Starbucks right by that library. And I remember like my dad every day after work like religiously will pick up Starbucks for my mom and bring it home. Like, so every like 4 p.m. he'll have Starbucks for her, and it's cute. It's inconvenient when you're sneaking around as an 11-year-old, but it's cute. I remember walking in there and it was like, I think it was like 3:30, and in my head I'm just like, if my dad walks in, this is all over. Like, I'm freaking out if my dad walks in. He didn't walk in, but that whole time I was like, hurry up with my drink. I want my vanilla bean frappuccino because I wasn't allowed to get caffeinated drinks. And even though my mom wouldn't know, I still just wanted to play it safe, you know? Just want to play it safe. So then we go like not even like 20 seconds away, the library. And we get there, we don't even go inside the library. I think we just wanted to play on the playground. And we're swinging on the swings. We did it. It was fun. We felt so cool. Like, I got dizzy on the swings and like, oh, I got a brain freeze. And I remember that was the worst brain freeze I ever had in my life. And I was like, I'm gonna die. I thought I was gonna die a lot as a kid. I'm not sure. And I still talk like that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to die. Like, as a joke. But back then I really thought I was gonna die. I don't know why. Which is probably why I'm anxious now as a teen. We make it back, okay? My mom picks me up. She's super happy. We didn't get caught. The whole time I'm freaking out. And we did not get caught. Like, I don't know how we did it. We biked back. I remember like going like 5 miles per hour and thinking that was so fast. And we were like speeding along. We're like, woo, we did it. Like, once we're in my neighborhood, like, we played it safe. Like, once we're in my neighborhood, we're good. Like, my mom's fine. So, super happy. We make it home. I say goodbye to her. She bikes back to her house. I'm in my house. And all of a sudden, like, I expect my anxiety to go away. I just feel heavy. Like, super heavy. And that is what I call my friends guilt. Guilt. I felt guilty over going to a library swing set. I don't know. But it sucked. I didn't like that feeling. I couldn't sleep. Like, I felt guilty over a lot of stuff. Like, as a kid, like, it could just be little things because, I don't know. I don't know if I believed in, like, karma or, like, what. But I just always felt bad for, like, little things. And that was one of them. And it was a big thing. Like, it kept weighing on me and I couldn't go to sleep. And I walked into the kitchen and my mom was in there, like, washing dishes. And I said, Mom, I need to tell you something. And she was like, what is it? Because I'm, like, fine when I get home. And all of a sudden I come out of my room and I'm, like, distressed and, like, sweating probably. I sit down and she's looking at me. She's like, well, what is it, you know? And I'm like, Mom, I didn't go to Philomena's house. And she's like, where'd you go? I'm like, well, we stopped by there, but really we went to the library. And she was like mad for a second, like kind of just more taken aback than mad, I think. And she didn't punish me then because she like really appreciated me like being honest. I think I started crying because as a kid, like, I would cry for no reason. Like, I could cry over anything. Like, they can call me into the office and just my anxiety of talking to an adult at school, like, would make me cry. Like, I wouldn't even be in trouble. Like, they dropped off my food or something like that and I'd just be crying and they'd be like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. So I feel a lot better after telling her the truth and I go to bed and I think I didn't tell Anna that I told my mom because she wasn't going to get Anna in trouble. There was no point in telling her and I didn't want her to think that I was like a wimp, you know, because I was finally doing cool kid rebellious stuff and I did not want to ruin that, so I kept that to myself. And then Anna, like, a week later, maybe even less, maybe like 3 days later, was like, do you want to go do it again? And I was like, you expect me to be like, no, like, I'm going to feel guilty. Like, I almost immediately was like, yes. It's just like the adrenaline. I was like, yes, like, I guess this is who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be this rebel that, like, goes and does things that I'm not supposed to do. Because that's just the edgy kid that I am. I thought I was so cool. Like, I really thought I was doing something there. And so we do it again. I probably, like, almost crashed my bike again. We get Starbucks, vanilla bean frappuccinos again, and we're on the swings for a while, and I guess, like, I don't know if my dad needed me for something, and he, like, stopped by Anna's house and I wasn't there, or something, I don't know, because I didn't have phone until, like, 8th grade. I think I got a phone in 7th grade, like, as soon as I got to middle school, so he was trying to find me, and I did not know that, because I didn't have a phone, or else I would have rushed home and just pretended to be, like, near her house the whole time. We're chilling, we're having the time of our lives, we're feeling rebellious, we're feeling new, like, super special, and then I see my brother, and my heart drops. He just, like, walked up to me, and I just remember feeling like I was gonna throw up. His, like, shit-eating grin. He was, like, so happy to have caught me. He was, like, trying not to smile. He was, like... And I was like, Zachary, I'm gonna punch you in the face, because I'm already in trouble, so, obviously, so I might as well punch you in the face. And immediately after I see my brother and process his shit-eating grin that he was giving me, I look, and I see my dad in his car, and I'm like, oh my god. And I knew, I was like, it's game over, guys. It's over. And so we're walking up to the car. He is not looking happy. And I remember Anna being like, just go with what I'm saying. Just go with it. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll go with it. Like, you're the rebellious kid. You know what to do in these situations. And my dad's listening, and he's looking at us. He, like, wants an explanation. And oh, I said her name. And Anna's like, oh, my sister's in there. She's just getting Starbucks. She'll be right back out. And in my head, I'm like, Anna, you can't say that, because he's the type of dad to wait. He's gonna wait and want to talk to your sister because he knows that we're lying. To us, we probably look like great liars, but to him, we were probably looking at the ground. We were like, yeah, her sister's right in there. We're like, we already had the Starbucks in our hand. Why would she still be in there? So I took the high road, being the class act that I am, and I told him, and I like looked over at Anna. I'm like, it's okay, Anna, just stop. And she looked at me like I just betrayed her. She was like, I was doing so well, and like we talked like through our eyes. I'm like, I know, but trust me, I'm already going to get slaughtered. I'd rather not get tortured and then slaughtered. So just tell the truth. Let's just tell the truth. I'm already in trouble. And so I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, and he was like, your bikes won't fit in the back, huh? And I'm like, probably not. And he's like, go home right now. Right now. And I'm like, oh, he said it twice. I'm really in trouble. And so he goes to get the Starbucks for Mom, and my brother's with him. I didn't get a Starbucks, wonder why. We're riding our bikes back, me and her, like, almost in silence. I think we might have made a joke where we were like, oh, that could have been worse. But we were, like, so nervous and scared. Like, it was such an artificial laugh. And so we're biking back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's game over. This is, like, the slowest torture, like most torturous death, because I know that he's going to get mad at me and, like, have a talk with me when I get home, but he's not here. Like, why couldn't he just have the talk with me as soon as I got caught? It would have been so much better. So I'm biking back. We finally get there. I'm like biking as fast as I can. In my head, I'm like, if I hit a pole and like die, well, I avoided the issue, fixed the problem, but I didn't run into a pole. I kind of wimped out there. Got home. She said goodbye. She was not going to be in trouble because like her mom was fine with her being at the library. I was the only one that's going to be in trouble. So she leaves before my dad could get there. I go home. My mom's like, he caught you. And I was like, I know, Mom, I know. Like, I should have never told her where I was that one time. Like, I could have felt guilty for a few days and just forgot about it. But I had to be the good Samaritan. I go into my room, and I used to have this desk where, like, the back wasn't open. Like, up against the wall, it was just, like, a piece of wood. So you couldn't see anything. Like, you couldn't see my legs when I was sitting in there. So I hid under my desk, and I was like, I'm just going to be here forever. Or, like, I thought in my head that maybe if I looked scared, it'd make him feel sympathetic for me and not yell at me as much. But, like, obviously I was actually scared, so wasn't that hard to act scared. My mom walks in, she's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh my god, my cover's been blown before it's even begun. I was like, Mom, I'm under my desk. And she was like, she can't go against my dad. She can't be like, he shouldn't be mad at you. And, like, she agreed, like, fully, like, completely reasonable to be upset with me. However, she was not as angry, I guess. She's just a calm gal. He wasn't, like, fiery. He wasn't, like, fired up. He was more scared for me because, like, I was out just two little cuties out there, 11 years old, like, swinging on some swings. Like, some guy could have just grabbed us off the swings and, like, took us away. So I understood his frustration. I think he was just more, like scared for me. And so maybe that translated into frustration, you know? Just dudes being dudes. It's okay. My heart was, like this at this point. I was like, oh my god. Because I hear the car pull up, and his car has a distinct sound. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, what pencil would be the sharpest to stab myself in the throat with so I don't have to go through this conversation? So I'd never really been in trouble like that before. Maybe if I threw a tantrum, they'd be like, you gotta stop throwing tantrums. And I'd be like, okay. Like, that's it. But this time I really did a big no-no. And he doesn't immediately go in my room to talk to me. And I'm like, Score. But I'm also like, oh my god, what is he planning? What rifle is he loading? I gotta clarify, he doesn't have guns and he wasn't gonna kill me, but I thought he was. Like, not actually kill me, but I thought he'd do something that was like close enough that I might as well just die at that point. Like, it was like, my life's over. I'm never gonna be able to hang out with my friends again. I literally remember being under my desk thinking, wow, there goes prom. Prom's like 7 years away. Like, what are you doing? What are you worried about? But I was just hung up on my future being over. I was like, I'll never be able to have a boyfriend now. This had nothing to do with a boy. Like, I don't know what I was so worried about. I just started bawling my eyes out. And, like, that was, like, regular for me. Not because I got sad a lot. I just got anxious and cried. Like, I was just an easy crier. And then I'd get over it after, like, 10 seconds. But I cried a lot. And I remember hearing him walk down the hall. I was like, oh my god, like, please just be going to the bathroom or something. Please don't be coming in my room. And I hear him open my door, and I hide under my desk again. Like, I'm still there. And he's like, where are you? And I poke my head out, and, like, I don't know what was going through his head. Like, I want to know. Because he was probably like, my daughter just snuck out of the house, didn't tell me where she was going. She's at the library, like in a park, and there's like a forest behind us where like homeless people live. And I'm not saying homeless people are gonna snatch us, but like there's sketchy people down there. Like, I've walked down there before with like other friends and found like ruined like Jordans that look like they had blood on them, and like ends of cigarettes and blunts and stuff. So there's weird stuff down there. Like, someone could have just run up and grabbed us, you know? So in his mind, he's probably like, now my daughter's under her desk. She has a pencil in her hand, because I literally had a pencil in my hand. I was like, I'm going to stab myself in the throat. And I don't know if I did it because, another thing to add, when I was in 6th grade, I always wanted to be like a movie star or like a singer or like such some form of like internet star. And now look at me doing YouTube. But anyway, obviously that dream is still going. So I always like had this idea that I was like in a movie, and I'd like picture myself from like another perspective, like someone looking at me. Like, I didn't see things from my own point of view. I wanted to, like I'd play the soundtrack in my head, and it would be, like, different things all the time. So I just remember being overly dramatic, but just to myself. Like, I didn't want other people to know that I had these beliefs, because that'd be kind of weird for them to be like, I'm imagining myself, like, going through a breakup right now. It'd just be so weird. So I had a pencil in my hand, and I remember, like, blowing things out of proportion to make myself seem more interesting, but only to myself. I wouldn't tell other people. And I had the pencil in my hand, and the look that he gave me was like, I love you, but stop. We had a talk about stuff, about not sneaking out anymore and why I didn't and stuff, and then we had like pot pies for dinner or something. I don't remember. I remember it being like pretty good, actually. I don't know why I know that. Because, like, I literally remember talking to Anna and being like, I'm gonna have pot pies for dinner. She's like, those are pretty good. I'm like, I've never had one before. That's all I clearly remember. I didn't get grounded because I didn't really go places that often anyway. So it's like, where are you gonna ground me from? My room? Like, okay. He's gotta deal with me more then. They were pretty understanding that you have to make mistakes in order to grow. And I'm certainly still making those mistakes. That wraps up the basics of that story. I do want to do more stories. That one isn't like my favorite. That one was just like a good intro into like who I was as a kid. Like, just really anxious snitch, which you wouldn't think matches, but it does like beautifully. So I'm thinking about doing like, my next one will probably be something to do with me breaking my neck, like the one, because some people did want that one. Breaking my neck does sound so much more severe than sneaking out of like a house. I said I got caught sneaking out, and I think I probably should have said as a kid, but Instagram doesn't let your questions be that long, so sorry guys, not my fault, not clickbait. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button if you want to know when I upload and what I upload. It's greatly appreciated. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, comment yeehaw, because that's the first thing that came to my head. Be sure to give your pets some extra love today, because they're lonely little guys. And if you don't have a pet, go pet someone else's dog or cat. Make sure they're friendly. And I will see you guys in the next video.
bluest skies. I found her